5 minutes. One silent video. No dialogue. No gestures. Yet the entire fandom felt its pulse stop. In a luxury restaurant, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan sat facing each other. No explanation followed, and that silence became louder than any headline. The clip didn't arrive with context. It didn't ask for permission. It simply appeared, quietly slipping into timelines, private chats, and fan spaces across the world. Inside a high-end restaurant bathed in warm, dim light, two figures instantly recognizable to millions were seated at the same table. Not on a stage, not behind microphones. Just there, Wang Yibo Xiao Zhan. No staff hovered nearby. No managers stood watch. No cameras flashed. Xiao Zhan ate slowly, calmly, as if time had softened around him. His movements were unhurried, natural, almost intimate in their ordinariness. Across from him, Wang Yibo leaned slightly forward, eyes lowered to his phone, fingers moving with purpose, but his posture told another story. Relaxed, grounded, present. There was no visible conversation, no laughter caught on tape, no dramatic exchange for the public to dissect. And yet, the stillness itself felt heavy with meaning. Because in an industry where every appearance is managed, every interaction framed, this moment felt untouched, unfiltered, human. And that's when the questions began to surface, softly at first, then all at once. Why together? Why here? Why now? The absence of answers only deepened the emotional pull. In the world of top-tier Chinese celebrities, coincidences are rare. Meetings usually come with explanations, projects, endorsements, official dinners, schedules carefully aligned. But this scene resisted categorization. The restaurant itself is known for one thing above all else: privacy. It's a space chosen by those who want to disappear, not be seen. A place where silence is protected and discretion is part of the service. That choice alone narrowed the focus. If this were work, where was the formality? If this were promotion, where was the performance? If this were accidental, why did neither of them look surprised to be there? Fans zoomed in, not to invade, but to understand. The distance between their chairs, the angle of their bodies, the absence of tension. Xiao Zhan didn't scan the room. He didn't shield himself or rush his meal. His expression carried a quiet ease, the kind that only appears when someone feels safe. Wang Yibo, though focused on his phone, didn't feel detached. He didn't lean away. He didn't create emotional distance. He stayed. And for those who have watched them for years, that detail mattered. Because comfort, real comfort, cannot be rehearsed. What happened next was something no one quite expected. There was no explosion of chaos, no immediate outrage, no mass speculation framed as certainty. Instead, something quieter unfolded. Across global fandom spaces, reactions emerged slowly, almost cautiously. Fans didn't rush to label the moment. They didn't force conclusions. Many simply watched the clip again and again, as if hoping the silence itself might explain something words never could. This restraint was unusual, and that alone made the moment feel different. Comments appeared that carried gentleness rather than demand. If they look at ease, maybe we should let them keep that peace. It doesn't feel like something meant for us to decode. For an industry that thrives on spectacle, this response felt deeply human. Because what people saw wasn't drama, it was vulnerability without exposure. Two individuals who live under constant scrutiny, sharing space without the armor they usually wear. No forced smiles, no controlled expressions, no performance designed to feed headlines. Some viewers admitted feeling emotional, not because of romance, but because of recognition. Recognition of exhaustion. Recognition of solitude at the top. Recognition of how rare it is for figures like Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan to sit still without having to mean something to the world. And yet, the questions didn't disappear. They hovered quietly beneath the surface. Was this a private conversation that didn't require words? A meeting shaped by trust rather than contracts? Or simply two people choosing normalcy for one evening? The footage offered no answers. And in doing so, it refused to let curiosity turn into entitlement. As theories slowed, Attention shifted to what couldn't be denied, body language. Because when words are absent, the body reveals truths that statements never will. There was no stiffness between them, no defensive posture, no tension pulling the space apart. Xiao Zhan's movements were steady, unguarded. He didn't rush, didn't hide behind exaggerated casualness. He ate the way someone eats when they are not waiting for the moment to end. Wang Yibo, though absorbed in his phone, remained anchored to the table. His posture didn't signal distance. There was no restless shifting, no urgency in his gestures. Even in silence, he was fully there. This balance, existing together without needing to fill the space, felt striking. For longtime observers, it echoed something familiar. Not a specific event, but a pattern. A quiet consistency that has appeared before in fleeting moments. Moments never explained, never emphasized, yet always marked by the same ease. This wasn't closeness that demands attention. It was familiarity that doesn't ask to be seen. And that is where the line blurred. Because professional interactions often carry structure. They are efficient, purposeful, defined. This moment was none of those things. It was soft, undefined, almost suspended in time. Too gentle to categorize. Too natural to dismiss. And perhaps that ambiguity was what unsettled people most. Not because it felt wrong, but because it felt real. No statement followed. No press release arrived to seal the narrative. No clarification stepped in to reclaim control. The silence remained intact. And maybe that was intentional. Because some moments lose their power the instant they're explained. Once labeled, they become smaller, predictable, contained. That night ended the way it began, quietly. Plates cleared, phones put away. Two lives returned to their separate trajectories, each carrying their own weight, their own world. But the footage stayed, not as evidence, not as confirmation, as possibility. A reminder that not every shared space has an agenda. Not every meeting exists for public consumption. Not every silence is a mystery that needs solving. Perhaps the real reason this moment lingered is because it showed something rare in celebrity culture: permission to pause, to sit without performing, to exist without explanation, to share presence without owing the world's story. So maybe the question was never, what were they doing? Maybe the question was why this quiet scene touched so many hearts. And the answer might be simple. Because in a world obsessed with noise, that silence felt honest. Because in an industry built on spectacle, that calm felt rebellious. Because sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that refuse to speak. And that night, inside a luxury restaurant, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan gave the world exactly that. A moment too gentle to define, too human to claim, and too meaningful to forget.